Hello, 7th grade. Welcome to week 2. Great job with the ingumentary system. Remember our skin system and everything gave me the vocabulary, and great job on your projects, like making a picture diagram of anything you found around the house. Like those came out like beautiful, amazing. I would love to display those and whatnot. So there's something to brag about for the 7th grade class. One thing I was shocked about is that I didn't get very many enrichment videos or activities from you guys. A couple of you did some stuff, but at this point, you're sitting with 50 points of lab points. And the other classes are kind of beating you guys, like a lot. So if you guys want to have like the year-end party at Mrs. Greenwald's house, like we're going to have like junk galore and movies and whatever, get to it. Start challenging yourselves and start calling each other up and saying, hey, let's do this and everything. But great job on first week getting all turned in and asking questions. If you guys need a Zoom call, like gathering up a couple of you because you just want to say hi to 7th grade, we can do that. Or if you need me to break it down some more to really get into details, especially this week, we're going over the nervous system. We're going to break it into 2 weeks because there's 2 parts of the nervous system. So we've got some notes to take today. So I do apologize if this video is a little longer than the 15-20 minute one that I made last week. So moving on. I'm here for you anytime. You do have vocabulary this week, so make sure you get that done. I will explain the homework for this week at the very end. And I do have a new lab challenge, experiment challenge for you guys. And I do have 4 brand new enrichment activities that are loaded up. Heads up, not this week, but next week, there will be a quiz that I'll upload. It'll be on the Friday lesson plans of next week. You can take that anytime next week. But it's just going to be a simple, you go to quizzes.com, log in, follow the link, take the quiz, and then finish it, and it'll send it right to me, graded and everything. So we're moving on from that. Get your notes ready. We're going to start with the nervous system. What you want to do actually before we even move any further, get off this video, go print off or draw the worksheet of the nervous system I've uploaded. There are some parts on that picture that have extra parts of the spinal cord that we will not be naming. We're just going to name some basic parts. You can just skip over that, and there's even a word bank at the bottom. Guys, I just simply found something online, quickly uploaded, and said, here's an example if you need it. I'm going to be going to my book that I've been using, show you guys a picture that's already drawn, so then that way you guys can actually visually see it. So, stop the video, go draw out the nervous system, and then come right back. What's funny is that you're probably watching this video while I'm doing that, being comfortable. Okay. So, did you know, last week I started out with the back, the nervous system, guys, is actually the cell phone / email system of your body. So if something happens externally, like you get poked, as we found out with our skin last week, those receptors that are in your skin as part of your nervous system, those transmit an email, a cell phone call directly to your brain, which is central command. Okay, so anything that's going on externally is going to send signals up to your brain. So that's what we're focusing on with the nervous system. We're going to focus on the brain part of it and how that's going to, how that sends signals and everything. Next week, we're going to break it down, all the nerve endings and all the nerve endings and nerve cells that are found throughout the body. We're just focusing on a certain part of the nervous system. All right, which is called the central nervous system. Before I get any further, I want to show you a picture, okay? So this is my picture that I have in my book. This is an awesome book. If you get stuck anytime that I'm going through stuff, this you can order off of Amazon for $10. We're going to use it next year for sure, but this is a great book to get a lot of ideas from. All right, so here is our nervous system. You can see that there's blue and green. We're going to focus on the blue today. So your picture you uploaded or drew should have the blue parts. The green parts we're not focusing on quite yet, okay? So what we're doing is we're going to actually label out these parts. So get your picture ready. All right. This part we're focusing on, I'll turn my whiteboard here. We got our cloud that looks like a brain, or my brain that looks like a cloud. Okay, so you have brain is the central command. If I misspell it, I'm sorry. I usually spell it Brian, and that's probably the way you did it. Brain, Brian, P-R-A. Yeah, I did it right. Okay. I don't know why I do that all the time. And then we have our spinal cord that comes down off of the brain. All right, let me label that spinal cord. All right, and then off the spinal cord is where a lot of your nerves are. So all throughout your body, coming off of that spinal cord, are just like branches. Very similar looking to what the bronchi look like inside of the lungs. Okay? So this is just a quick draft. It's better to use that picture that I've uploaded. Okay, once again, here's the picture that I showed. Okay? We are just focusing on the blue. So all these branches, I'm going to get rid of them. We're not doing those this week. That's what makes up the entire nervous system. So we are going to be focusing on the first part of the nervous system, which is called the central nervous system. And there is a part added to it that we haven't added yet. So central nervous system. You got your brain, your spinal cord, and also what makes it up. Oh, I forgot. Okay, oh, the sensory organs. The sensory organs. You might be wondering what those are, the sensory organs. Okay. Sensory organs are just the parts, guys, that use your taste, smell, touch, see, and hearing. Okay, so all those organs that you use for any parts of those are also considered part of the nervous system. So your ears, your eyes, your nose, your mouth. And some of them aren't necessarily organs, they are body parts, but they're still part of the nervous system. All right, so we've got that down. Once again, we're just focusing on the central nervous system, brain, spinal cord, and sensory organs. Okay, so it starts with the brain. We're going to focus in on that. So you drew out your picture, and underneath your brain section of your notes, we're going to add a couple bullet points. All right, we're going to call it control center. That's where all the emails and phone calls go. So if you've broken your arm, those nerves are going to pick up that something's wrong, and it's going to send it straight to the brain, basically. If you've been poked, so if you did that toothpick experiment last week, those were you acting your brain, your nerves, and sending up the messages. You probably discovered your fingertips are the most sensitive nerves in your whole body because we use our fingertips to feel out things. So if you're blind, it's your fingertips that you're using to read. If you're stuck in a dark room that you can't see, you're using your fingertips to feel along the wall or wherever you can. What else with the brain is that there are 3 different parts of the brain. The cerebrum, the brainstem, and the cerebellum. Yes, there's more parts of the brain, but this is what we have to focus on for, oops, I misspelled that one. This is what we have to focus on for the nervous system, okay? So the brain is the control center, and it's broken up into 3 parts. And we're going to break down these 3 parts a little bit more. All right, so write that down. Okay, so we started out with this big nervous system, brain, spinal cord, nerves, sensory organs. Then the brain is made up of 3 parts. Bam, right there. Isn't that an easy picture? 3 parts. cerebellum, cerebellum, and brainstem. Okay, we're going to talk about each one. So in your picture that is uploaded, or what you drew, you should have all three of these parts, because these are all three are very important. We will be breaking down the cerebellum in your homework and everything, your enrichment activities. I won't spend the time doing it here, but the overall thing is, what does the nervous system do? So I'm going to start with the cerebellum, that green part. Bullet point it, cerebrum. This is how you use your brain consciously. Okay, so it's conscious thoughts. So if you're kind of confused what does conscious thoughts means, it means that you're actually aware of what you're thinking. Or you can actually control it. So we had like involuntary and voluntary muscles. This is kind of, it is the same thing. So it's your conscious thoughts. It's things that you can control, like your actions. So things like walking, talking, or you tried, as long as that hasn't been damaged in your brain. Perceptions of taste. So you can actually see, well, I know that plastic's not going to taste good. I know from my brain. Or I know that apple tastes good. Also, it helps. It's perception of, not just taste. Taste, sight, touch, all the sensory organs. Sound and smell. So the cerebrum is what consciously helps you think through things, but it's also picking up on all the sensory things that are happening around you. There are two hemispheres. Okay, so you have your left and your right side. Wait, I don't know what this would be my right and this is my left. So left and right for you guys on the video. There's two hemispheres. And the hemispheres, guys, are connected together by thick bands of fiber. So they're just not floating in there, but they're actually held together. All right? And your right side is more your artistic side. So it's where you get your creativity, your imagination, your artist ideas. And your left side is your more logical side. That's where you can do your math, your logical thinking. You can do logical languages come from that side. Okay? And I actually, in the enrichment activities, I've uploaded a website that you can actually take a quiz to see which side you use more. Me, I'm more of a right side kind of thinker. I use a lot of my imagination and artistic abilities and creativity. I can do logic, but it's 60-30 was my percentage, is what I came out to. I can pick up languages real easily, but I prefer my right side a lot. So the question is, what do you do? Or what's yours? So that's cerebrum. All right? That's what's helping control. You are controlling your sensory organs. You're able to get your thoughts in line. You can consciously think about what you're going to do. And you have your left and right, two hemispheres. Now we're going to move on to brain stem. Brain stem. All right, let's bullet point it. This is part of your brain that controls involuntary processes. Okay, so when we think, I want you to go back to muscles. Involuntary, voluntary muscles. Voluntary is like what I can volunteer and I can actually control. Involuntary is what I cannot control. So brainstem controls involuntary processes. And what we mean by processes, we're talking breathing, digesting, and heart pump. I'm writing that all down. If I'm going too fast, you can always stop this video and catch up that way. Bam. All right? Brainstem controls involuntary processes such as breathing, digest, and heart pump. So it keeps our body going without us having to think about it. Because if you have to think about remembering to pump your heart, your brain is never going to get a rest, and you're never going to be able to think about pretty much anything else. Like, you want to actually think about, what do I have for lunch today, or what do I want to? good thing God invented this and got us all created that way. Also, what I want you to remember, I'm still looking at my notes, sorry. The brainstem connects right to our spinal cord. And I'll show you again, a picture again of that. All right, so connects right to the spinal cord. So literally, if something happens to your brainstem, it could deactivate everything that's down. There are people who say, like, you should go to the chiropractor, and when you line back up your spine in the spinal cord, then that helps activate your brain and to run and flow better and everything, because you're able to send the messages up and down from whatever's happening in your body, which I go to the chiropractor quite a bit. I love it because it's nice being adjusted, but you kind of really think about what's the science behind, like, how everything works together. So a picture to show you guys. All right, so here's your brainstem. It's connecting right down to your spinal cord. So it's just one big lineup. So you have your bone structure, your backbone, but it's the nervous system. It's basically just like a line. It's probably the best way to describe it. Going wrapped around the spinal cord and going all the way down. All right? And it's sending those messages back up to the brain, and it's acting pretty fast. The last part of your brain system that we want to focus on is the cerebellum. Cerebellum is very, very important, especially if you're an athlete. Well, in life in general. So cerebellum, bullet pointed, all right? This one's pretty short. It helps with coordination, among other things. Helps with coordination, balance, and motor control. Motor control basically means functioning of, like, your eyes blinking. It helps you be able to blink your eyes, and it helps you be able to move around and make sure that you balance on one foot. And motor control. That's the only notes you need for that one, cerebellum. So if anything happens to your cerebellum, you can go off balance. And the phrase is like, you can turn into a klutz. Somebody who's very easy to fall down quite a bit. So right now with my pregnancy, I can't say that's my cerebellum, but I'm very prone to falling over and whatnot. So very important to keep that. So here we have it. Cerebrum controls, you can control it, okay? Sensory organs going on. Cerebellum helps control the balance, and the spinal cord, brain stem is where all your involuntary actions are happening. So you want to try to protect those at all costs. It's very important. So that's your central nervous system. And then it goes into your spinal cord, which is all part of it. The spinal cord, all you need to know is that it helps transmit the messages up and down to the brain, okay? And that's where all the nerve endings are connected. Now, next week, we're going to be learning about the second part of the nervous system, which is the peripheral nervous system, which is all of your nerves put together, basically, and how it sends it up. And we'll actually be breaking down, if you look over here, what does a nerve look like? But don't fret about that right now. So, moving on. That's your notes for this week. You do have what's required from me this week. 1, vocabulary. That's up on the lesson plans. 2, taking notes on today. If you have any questions, please contact me. We can set up a Zoom call. Like I said, your parents have my number, so they can always text me. You can always email me. Been doing great about that. Great job. Keep it up. 3, your experiment for this week is that I've uploaded a fun thing to trick your brain. Okay, so what you have to do is that you have to find the worksheet for the lab challenge, lab experiment challenge. It's basically you print off this paper, or you can do it on your computer or iPad. You need to make sure it's in color though. And what you're doing is that it says, say the color of the word. Okay, you'll notice that there's a challenge. I'm not going to talk about it any more than that, but see if you can do it. If you can do it, or even if you can't, record yourself doing it and send it to me. Lab points for that. And it's actually a fun little challenge to see how does your brain actually work. Left and right, creative side or logical side. Homework this week is a crossword puzzle. I know that 7th grade, you love crossword puzzles. It's a little more in-depth than what we just did today. So what I did is that I found a wonderful website for you guys to use to go along with this crossword. So it's just a very simple website that has maybe a couple paragraphs to help you find some of the questions, help you answer some of the questions on the crossword puzzle. Some of the stuff I shared with you today is straight off of there and easy to find. There's other stuff that's going to basically break it down that says, hey, the temporal lobe of your brain does this. We're not going to break down very detailed into that because we're not in school and able to do something every day. So I'm just grazing through the basics right now. So if you get stuck on that, I've also uploaded a picture that shows the different parts of the brain broken down, the different lobes. Okay, so vocab, homework, lab notes, lab challenge, and then 4 enrichment activities. Those are all new. There's some simple ones. There's that fun one, which side of the brain do you actually use? And you can actually just take a picture and show me your results. And that's an easy, like 50 points for your lab groups, for your class. So that's it. That's all I have for nervous system. We're going to continue it next week for part 2. And then at the end of next week, we're going to take, not me, you, you'll take a quick little quiz over the nervous system and the skin system. And that will be open notes. You're more than welcome to look through whatever notes you've taken. So it's very important you're taking these notes. In fact, if you add a little blue star in the bottom right corner of your crossword puzzle, I will give you an extra 10 points on your quiz. So that's to let me know who is actually watching these videos all the way through. 7th grade, have a great week. And I miss you guys. I can't wait to see you guys again. Once again, anything I can do to support you in the classroom, questions, if you just want to do a Zoom call, more than welcome to. Mrs. Greenwald out.